and welcome to
What
it.
was that?
I don't know. I've said this line so many times that I feel the pressure to say it differently. That was maybe not the best experiment. But hi guys, what are we talking about today? Da-da-da-da.
Well, I think we're just having a
The future.
the future.
Yes, the world of tomorrow.
Exactly.
So as we're basically having Ears to the East World Expo, Neon, I know I've got a couple of upcoming albums I want to talk about. I know you've got a couple. We haven't said what they are. Benedict, I'm sure
I
is
don't
sitting
have a
there
couple,
going,
but I have things I wish that will come.
okay, that's interesting. So we got a few things to talk about. Well, I think my choices are probably fairly obvious. So Neon, I'm going to ask you to go first and see if you trip up on mine and annoy me by selecting the things.
Well, I'm hoping the first one. So I got two. I got one that's definitely confirmed, and I got one that I hope will be here in the future. Kind of like waiting on that one. No, but the first one I want to talk about for me personally is Unlucky Morpheus.
Damn it. I have that as well. Is there something announced?
Yes,
Definitely stood on
nice.
Benedict's toes there. Yeah.
it is confirmed.
Oh, well, I'm happy
The
about
album comes out on the 25th of November. Sorry, I'm looking at American dates. Always like weirds me out. Gate of Heaven.
2 months.
Um,
Nice.
yeah, Gate of Heaven. That has been announced. That is coming this year, at the end of this year, and I'm incredibly looking forward to it. It feels like we've had like a bunch of singles, and
When was
obviously
the
we've had
last one?
Unholy Orpheus to tie us
The
over.
last album is 3 years ago.
3 years ago, yeah, I think it's around about 2022. We had the last sort of like 2022, 2021. We had the
But
last.
we had the
Morpheus.
What is Death in between.
Yeah. So it's been a
That's
long
so cool.
time.
I just say that just reminds me there was that really famous Twice song, "What Is Love," but then you've got "What Is Death," and I'm hearing "What Is Death" to the
What
tune
is
of "What Is
death?
Love."
Baby, don't
please
hurt
kill
me
me.
more.
No, it's wrong song. Okay. Anyway, moving on. All right.
Yeah, so
we got-
I'm really looking forward to this one. It's been a massive amount of time. We've had Fuki obviously go and do stuff with Doll's Box. She's done stuff in her solo career and
Nothing
stuff like
new.
that. We've been tied over with Unholy Orpheus, which I thoroughly enjoyed, but I can understand that it's not everybody's cup of tea. Sharon screams compared to Fuki's vocals. So this just feels like a long time coming. I'm really excited for this one. I know it's here now. I know the date. Yeah, just give it to me raw. That's just give me
And-
that. Yeah.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we only know one song from this so far.
Oh, which
yeah,
one?
and I hope
The
it. I hope
Sakura
it stays that way.
Chevalier.
Yeah.
So
I
given
think
that you guys
I
have
guess
been
that's on the album.
given that you guys have been waiting so long, they've had Unholy Orifice, sorry, and they've had
Orpheus.
they've had
Orpheus, yes.
Doll's
We all
Box
know.
and all of this. What are your expectations? What are you looking forward to from? Do you want sort of something that reminds you of where they left off with their last album, or do you want them to take it in a new direction? Or is there something you're hoping to get from this?
I personally like the thing I fell in love with Unlucky Morpheus for is I really liked the sort of spooky, more kind of gothic elements of Unlucky Morpheus. I think the last album they kind of shied away from that a little bit and went
Yeah,
more
a little bit
more-
brighter
a
in
little
tone.
bit brighter.
Yeah.
So I don't know. My answer to that question would be I would love it if they returned to that bit more dark atmosphere. But at the same time, they've done the dark atmosphere. They did like a more mainstream poppier songs and stuff like that. So if they did something else for the third time and like evolved some more, then I'd be happy with that as well. So I think no matter what they put out, I think I'm going to be happy with it. I mean, the core stuff is still there. You're still going to get Sheeran writing these riffs.
Fanboy.
Still going to get Fuki's vocals and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm excited. I don't quite know what direction I think they'll head in, but
What you
regardless,
can't
it's
see,
just
Benedict, is behind the camera is all of his Sheeran pictures. That's the actual fourth
oh
wall
yeah,
is
yeah,
just
yeah. Yeah,
Um,
Howard will tell
by
you.
Sheeran.
I blatantly made sure to stand next to Sheeran, twice.
He did.
Not as close as
No,
Howard got though.
Yeah. I basically
That was a bit-
agree.
yeah.
I think what we will probably get is a continuation from their last album, because I think they kind of outsourced what you were talking about, the more gothic, darker tone, probably to the side project called Unholy Orpheus. I mean, I'm
Do
not
you think that
sure
was the
if
idea?
that will continue. Sorry?
Do you think that was the idea, was to free up their sound a little bit, or do you think it's just because they wanted to do the heavier stuff that didn't require the normal vocals, normal
It's
singing?
hard to tell what the reason for it is, but it might be just to please the older fans.
Yeah.
I can't
I
help but feel
think
that all the people from Unlucky Morpheus, they don't do anything to necessarily just please a certain demographic. They're just like, let's experiment with this
yeah,
today. I think
they
that's
Yeah,
the kind of like
yeah.
their
they
entire
do their own
mentality.
thing. So I'm just excited with whatever they bring out and
Could
whatever.
just be that in the group, I don't know how many are in the group in total, that they have different, I don't know, ideas of what the sound should go to. And so they said, okay, let's just do 2 projects, basically.
I know. I mean, Jill's been pushing for a banjo bluegrass album for years now. One day, one day, Jill will get her way. So I'm not a violinist. I play the fiddle. And now we go.
I would still pay to see
Unplugged
that.
Oasis. No.
Yeah,
How will we call that?
yeah. So please, Unlucky Morpheus fans, don't hate me. I was just joking. Anyway,
Jill's gonna
although
be
I would
watching that
totally
going,
listen
that's
to it
a
if she
good
put it out.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would listen to it if they put it out 100%.
I would as well. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. But I mean, I think also 3 years is I mean, it was time to get a new album. We had a lot of side projects, also Jill and stuff doing their own stuff, but looking forward to this very much.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this now as well. So
Because I
I'm
get the
hyped.
feeling whenever we listen to like Jill or when we listen to Hookie or Unholy Obvious, whenever we listen to them, like all we're really thinking is, oh yeah, these are the people from Unlucky Morpheus. So in a way, it's kind of like all of it is like, yeah, this is good. This is a good way of reminding us that we really want a new Unlucky Morpheus album. You know?
I mean, if they took the Unholy Orpheus sound and they just added more Fuki and a few more sort of like have her sing over some parts a little bit more, I'd be happy with that, to be honest. I really like the Unlucky Morpheus, Unholy Orpheus sound.
Yeah.
So I
Also
know I'm in the
on
minority here that loves both Unlucky Morpheus
yeah.
and Unholy Orpheus.
And
So
also, on a side note, something that I don't think anything is announced, and I'm not even sure if the group is still active. You can let me know. But Yosei Teikoku, another group that probably includes some of the members from Unlucky Morpheus. That's
Are
really
they
hard to
still
get some
active?
info about that group.
Let me have
But
a little look now.
they have a really similar sound to them. I mean, they have a different lead singer and stuff. But I think if you like Unlucky Morpheus, you should like Yosei Teikoku as well. So.
They've got that
Their
similar
last 2
theatric
albums, like their
vibe.
last album was the best album. The last 2 albums were so great. So I would really love a
Apparently, they
new
are
album.
still active. Yep, they're still going.
All right.
that doesn't mean much. Look at
Yeah,
Fuki's page. He's active on
haven't been
about
used.
18 different things.
I was going to say, looking through
Just
this,
means not cancelled.
they've not released much, but okay, they've had okay. Yeah, then they've been active, but they're just not releasing a huge amount. So I don't know what that actually means. But yeah, Yosei Teikoku is one
If
of
I
those
had to
bands where
call
I've
it,
heard them, but I'm not like super familiar with their career progression or anything. I just know they've been around forever.
if I heard it, it will be big Unlucky Morpheus push, album release, and then probably after a year or so, they'll probably go off to their side projects again and do what they want.
Yeah, they feel more like a group of session music. This is actually a similar thing to Wagaki Band. It's like Wagaki Band have this vibe where just like all of the members will turn up in different combinations, doing different things, and then you got like Benny had her own her second solo single recently, and then you got Yuko's off doing her solo stuff, but then her solo stuff will suddenly feature like 3 members of Wagaki Band, and apparently this is a different subunit with a different name, which is the original Wagaki Band. And then Wagaki Band comes back, and then Yuko's like, "Hey, I'm going to marry the Koto player," and it's just like, "What's going on?" But it's like this subunit is called Married Couple, and just the whole vibe with Rogaki Band is like that. And so I think you get these bands where they're large collectives of people who all have very individual musical sounds, and thus it kind of creates a bit of a room for them to go off and do their own individual things.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're
Nice
very
to see that they
comfortable.
still come back to the original project.
Yeah.
That is
They
Unlucky
know
Morpheus.
they know where their fans want them to be.
Yes.
They know where the paycheck is when they need it.
I avoided saying that. I was going in that direction. I thought that just sounds like a horrible thing to say. I'm going to skip over to where the fans are.
I actually wanted to say they don't feel like a group to me that have ultimate world success as their goal.
Yeah,
It's more
I don't
like
think
they
that. Me
just
and
want
Howard
to
had a conversation
make
about
their
this the other
music.
day, actually, when we went to go and see them. When we were talking about this, and we were going, they never go outside Japan. It just feels like a band that are very
Yeah, I feel like
content
they
with what
could
they've
if they
got.
would want to.
Yeah, it definitely feels like they could, but it just feels like they have absolutely no ambition to do that.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure that it's one of those things where they could do, and it would be a risk that would potentially pay off, and it would be worth doing a little sortie and trying it out. But it's one of those things where clearly they're looking at it and they're thinking, well, I think apart from anything else, they clearly don't want to expand Unlucky Morpheus because they're doing other things as well. So they're probably thinking, oh, if we expand Unlucky Morpheus too much, then we won't have time to do these other
Yeah.
experiments.
Mm.
So there'll
Yeah.
be no time for like a dolls box or
Yeah, but that shows you it's more important for them to experiment with their music and their craft.
and there's something very pure about that, which
Yeah.
is difficult for overseas fans, but at the same time, it means that at least the music you get is going to be this plethora of different things. And we often talk about wanting variation from artists and what could be more varied than instead of just being one band, separating into little subunits.
Imagine now in November the album comes out and it's like all pop songs, really commercial.
There was a real
stuff.
hate in your face when you said that. Oh, fucking pop
Yeah,
song.
I wouldn't like it. That's
Oh.
why I was skeptical when Neon said whatever they put out, he will like it. No, not
I
everything.
probably would. Yeah, like I said, I still like pop groups.
Right.
Very underrated.
I think he was playing the percentages there. How would you feel if they came out with a cover of Candy Racer?
Well, it depends.
It would be
how
the
it
best
sounds.
version of Candy Racer.
Oh, wait, that's just some Chiari hate right there. All right.
What about
Anything
you,
else
Benedict? What are you
Yeah.
looking forward to?
All right.
Yeah, should we move on to another group, you think?
Yeah.
Well, I was actually, I'm not sure if it's too early, maybe, but considering they're kind of more, how do you say that? If it comes after a not too short amount of time, I don't know. TRiDENT, the shirt you're wearing so proudly, Howard, because
And
Ducks
here was
came
me
out 10 months
thinking-
ago, I think, and
Here was me thinking that Neon would undercut me.
with TRiDENT. He doesn't like those
How about I
K
just- how about
visual
I just
groups.
answer
No,
the
what did he
question
say?
for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Blue Dawn will be released later this year.
Ooh,
Already had
there
the
you
first
go.
track. Yeah, no, I am.
So is it another? I don't know. I only heard the name. So is it an album? Is it like another of their mini album things?
Yeah, it is set to be a full album. Now the release. So we heard when they did the announcement at the show, we heard one of the songs, and I'll be honest with you, it's always difficult because when you're hearing a premiere of a song, you're likely to be biased towards it. When you're hearing it live, your ears are going to hear it in the most preferable manner, and you're excited about it, and there's recency bias. But if I try to be totally honest about it, I honestly thought that the song was one of the is a top tier song, even for a band who for me, like Trident
But
is
they
easily
didn't
a top
release
three band.
any singles, right?
No, there hasn't been any singles yet. However, there is an anime they are doing the opening and closing song for, and therefore the two songs related to that will be coming out with the anime. So I've got
So
to
it's
check
all
the dates.
ramping up now, then probably.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Stuff to be expected soon.
but yeah, it looks great. Obviously, it's their first album as a signed band
Their
because
first real album, someone might say.
No, it's well, no. I think Advanced Generation was a proper album.
Oh yeah,
Ducks,
okay.
we can
Apart from
argue
that,
about
sorry, I
Ducks.
forgot about Advanced Generation. I just wanted to mock Ducks. You know what I did.
We can argue about Ducks all we like, but it's still the best album of that year. And the truth is that honestly, with it being their first signed album, they still made a good point of showing that they were working with mostly the same crew who've worked on their previous albums. And I think that's really nice. It's showing that they've been signed to King Records to just continue what they're already doing. King Records, incidentally, also the label who work with Dollsbox. So So that's I did wonder because obviously Trident were at Now and Noyan and they would have met the Gatrick Spin girls there when they did that. And I do wonder whether there was like someone from King Records who was just going
Ooh.
kind of like this. And
Gatrick
I didn't know there was some
TRiDENT
sticking to it.
collaboration.
Yeah.
Well, oh man, don't tease me. After all the when we saw them on stage and it was like Sue from Silent Siren singing with Angie from Gatrick Spin, singing with Asaka from Trident, I was like, life goals, goodness.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the stuff
but
we
yeah,
want to
I'm
see.
still gutted we couldn't get in to go and see them with them. I feel like that would have been amazing.
yeah, I know. However, the management were very kind in their response that allowed me to go to the release.
And I was already back in the UK. Then.
You were already back in
I
the
got
UK.
tickets for
I'm
you and
sorry,
the
I'm
other guy.
sorry, I'm sorry.
The other guy's fucked off.
It
If you would have
all
told me
worked
that
out
earlier, I
good
would
in
have
the
got a
end.
fucking plane.
It all worked out good in the end. It all worked out just fine in the end.
Would you also
Anyway,
say it's time for another super group, like a combination of the best musicians that are out there, like Box? Maybe it's not really. It's basically just Gatrick Spin with Fuki, but
yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how many supergroups there are that I'm really that excited about, except for when it's groups that actually, if you like, supersede the group. But concurrent supergroups,
I
they
don't know.
tend
Just
not to.
pick the best vocalists you can imagine and throw
But
them in front
I
of an amazing backing band.
I have to be honest though, for me, like Trident kind of almost is saying it's a supergroup implies they came from things before, but
Yeah,
I feel like as an actual group, the lineup
they're all
is
super groups in themselves.
yeah. Well, I mean, if you've got a group where everyone works together and just the way that they're united, they're gelled really perfectly. Yeah, when it comes to Trident, I think that they are kind of that group. It's something really exciting, and yeah, I'm super excited to see what this new album is going to be, and it's going to be nice, full length, hopefully list of songs where we get to really hear them, sort of show what they can do with this new funding. But yeah, I mean, you can tell their whole vibe. You can just tell how excited they are about it, and yeah, really taken off. But Benedict, as you brought it up, what were kind of your feelings or expectations before you actually knew that bit of news? What were you kind of hoping for from it?
Well, hoping didn't really. I thought they would just continue with their like 5 song release cycle. So I'm actually excited to hear it's a full album and actually a full album full of new songs.
I
Just to
I have
clarify
to
that.
check actually. I'm not sure if it was an album or EP, but I'll double check.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just like, please. So yeah, I was.
No, but so far, I mean, apart from Ducks, I'm very
It is
much
an
liking
EP.
this group. Sorry?
It is an EP.
Oh,
Correct that bit.
damn. But like 5 songs or 8?
Oh no, I did actually see the track list before, but I
Well,
mean, I seem to remember it was. Yeah, I'll double check quickly.
anyway, I was very
Yeah.
excited up to Ducks. I mean, Ducks, I just ignore that, so I'm still very excited. So,
There were new songs on there.
no new songs on there. What did you say?
There were new songs on there. There were
Yeah,
new
well, 3 maybe.
So the new EP is apparently going to feature 5 songs. Best release of the year. Let's
Well,
go. Woo!
still 5 new songs.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Good mentality.
It's not a
So
best
yeah,
of EP.
so all 5 songs will have previously appeared on Ducks. But this,
What about you then,
exactly.
Mr. Howard? What's tickling your pickle for the future?
well, I feel like I already tickled my pickle plenty over that last one. But if I were to be honest, the other one I was going to mention, ironically coming out at a very similar time, is another one of my just top ranked top 3 bands. I'd say Neki. They've got their first. That's a 10 track album. That will be coming out in. I believe it comes out in October. There's so many release dates. I'm trying.
That
Oh
really
no!
is their debut album, kind of, because they only
Yeah,
had the EP before, right?
exactly. Yeah. So they had the 2 EPs before, and then this is a 10 track album, I believe. Let me just check. So it's called Meme, which I think I just as an album name, I like that. I think I think it suits their kind of their style as
Is
well.
it gonna
So
be
it's
a brain rot album?
Oh, so okay, here's the thing, right? It comes out on November the 26th. Blue Dawn comes out on November the 23rd, I believe, which means there's just a bunch of albums coming out at the end of November. This is going to be a
Busy.
crazy time. But yeah, I'm actually genuinely excited because it's their first album on Pony Canyon since signing to Pony Canyon. It's their first release on Pony Canyon. Apparently a lot of the work was done prior to the signing. I don't know whether the people who are saying this have actually got their information, where they got that from, but I'm pretty sure Pony Canyon would have been pretty heavily involved. But looking at the first two songs we've heard, with OOAK and Ripoff, they were both really good, solid songs that continue the Neki sound. And as a band who is still growing, it's nice to hear their sound is growing in an organic way. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And 10 tracks worth of Neki and 5 tracks worth of TRiDENT, I'm already going to have like one of the best Novembers ever. So this is going to be wild.
10 tracks will be interesting to see what kind of diversity they will come up with.
Well, they've on the first two EPs they had Blue Dawn's coming out on November the 5th. Oh, remember the 5th of November. Okay, he's going to remember. Okay, I'm trying to get all these dates together. So yeah, I to be honest, the first two EPs demonstrated a lot of variation. Like you listen to them and every single song has its own feeling. So yeah, I agree. I'd be really interested.
But I feel like a full album like gives room to maybe do, I don't know, a really calm ballad style song or something like that.
Well, they had a couple of those already, but it'd be interesting to see them grow into that a little bit more and, have more of those. So you mentioned that the Unlucky Morpheus album comes out on November the 23rd, did you say?
November the 26th.
It comes out on the same day as Neki. So Neki and Unlucky Morpheus same day. And TRiDENT will be November the 5th, apparently. I'm just Googling this as I go, so please, guys, do you remember to double check these things because Google uses AI now, which means it's probably getting me all the wrong bloody information. But yeah, I think when it comes to Neki, yeah, I'm pretty sure whatever we get, it's going to be really good melody music, and it's probably going to rock really well. And I just, so far, whenever you really enjoy a band, there's always going to be one or two songs that you don't particularly like. That's not my favorite. So far, Neki is still a new band. They haven't had a chance to. Well, they've had a chance to have a bad track, but there's not been any song so far that I didn't really enjoy. There's ones I prefer over others, but there's not a single song that I dislike. So this 10-track album gives them a chance to at least get their one dud out the way, maybe. But it could just be 10 tracks of awesome. Who knows? So I am all there for that. I am 100% there for that. But those two albums I'm super excited about.
Nice.
And so, I mean, we won't quite address the elephant in the room yet. The elephant in the room is circling. But before we do, Neon, what was the other album that you wanted to talk about?
So nothing's confirmed with this one. But I'm going to take a stab at it anyway on what I predict will probably happen for this one. And if it does, I'm really excited for it. But
Okay.
they've just confirmed a New Japan tour in February of 2026. So that has me curious, as well as they're doing an international tour as well, which I'll be seeing them in November. But they've just released a new single, and I think they've got a bit of a gap there with the Japanese tour that I'm really looking forward to. So there's nothing confirmed, but if I had to have a sneaking suspicion, I think
You will say a band name in a minute.
Yeah. Early 2026 is when I think something will drop, and I think we'll hear something relatively soon. At least I think we will. Hanabie. I think they.
It is Hanabie.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But you said they got a new song just dropped. I didn't know that.
It was a month ago.
It was the one they did for the anime, the Panda Bear one.
Okay, that was a little while ago. Yeah,
it was a little while ago. So this is what I mean now. They've got a bit of a gap. They've just announced a new tour for February 2026, which has me hopeful. And I think there's been enough time. I think they're at this point in their careers now where the popularity is only going up, and I think it's just momentum at this point. I'd be very surprised if we don't see something in 2026. And for me, I hope it's earlier rather than later. So for me, yeah, Hanabie, they hit all the right notes popularity-wise. They're touring internationally. They're doing all the right things. And I just think it's a case of momentum. And I think they're going to try and carry that on. And it will be about 2 years since the last album.
But they had the EP in between.
Yeah, they had the
Yeah,
new.
they've been keeping active at least,
They
but
have
I
been
know what you
keeping
mean.
active.
Like a full album is always a bit
Yeah.
of
I think the EP
an
is
event.
also 10 month already.
Yeah, so if I had to guess, I think with the momentum that they're gone with now, I reckon early 2026 album. I think the Japan tour, the new Japan tour, although many bands just tour Japan, but I think that's very telling on that they're not taking a break anytime soon. I think they're just gonna steamroll
But it
forward.
could
So
mean they don't have time to work on another album because they have to do a
um,
tour.
they could do, but then look at the likes of Band-Maid and Love Bites and
Yeah.
stuff like that. They just um
Yeah, I mean,
Like Hanabie is touring a lot, man.
they are touring a lot.
but
Yeah.
this is one of the things that's so impressive about Hanabie though, is that like their whole their whole work ethos, and I said this from so long back, and I maintain it that their work ethos is just amazing. The fact that they're always either gigging or releasing something, and not just gigging locally. I mean, I have all the respect in the world, as you said earlier, with Unlucky Morpheus, for bands who just want to stay within their marketplace. But the fact that they're overseas, clocking in just country after country, whilst also keeping the material coming out. Because so often you'll get bands who won't release anything, and their fans will be like, "Oh, but they were on tour this year; they needed time to rest." It's like someone needs to tell that to Hanabie because they just like they ain't
I
resting.
think I think
They never have
Hanabie
any
as well.
rest.
They won a lot of people over with some of the tour they did a couple of years ago. Like word of
Yeah,
mouth spread really fast, and I like that. I like the old sort of like underdog story now that a band goes around touring, and that's how they sort of gain their popularity internationally.
Yeah. But I mean,
I
I
like
also
that.
feel like they have a really good release cycle. Like there's never a too long of a period
Yeah,
where
yeah,
they don't release any song. At least it's like one new song or something
yeah, exactly. So if I
that
had to
keeps
put
you
my
engaged.
left nut on when I think something's going to drop, early 2026, I reckon. So,
Yeah.
but that again, it's an educated guess more than a something's
Well,
been
even if
confirmed.
it's late 2026, it's still
Yeah,
fine.
2026 sometime.
nice,
I
nice.
mean, there's
Yeah,
another group which we didn't have any release for a while, which is a little group called Love Bites.
Yeah,
that's an
Um,
interesting point, actually. Yeah, what's going on with
yeah,
that?
Judgment Day is, I think, 2 years, was 23, if I'm correct. And
Yeah, it was.
Unchained, the EP was over a year.
yeah. Miyako and
Yeah.
Midori have been cock teasing us for the
Would
entirety of
be
like the
time for
year
something
on
else
X.
as well.
See them in the studio doing like little raves with the recording in the background. We're like, we know what you're doing, guys.
Yeah, I
Let
mean,
them perfect it.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, if they want to take their time on it, then yeah, good for them. I
Yeah, but it
think
feels like for quite some time we didn't have any new single or anything.
we did have the what was the EP part two one that they released
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
but that's
That was
even that is over a year ago already.
I think the
did
thing with Love
really.
Bites now is I
Yeah, I
think they
think so.
slowed down a bit
At
once
least it
obviously
says
like
so on
Miyako
YouTube.
became a mum and stuff. So like
Oh yeah, of course she's got a
Yeah,
yeah,
kid.
so
Yeah.
true.
so even though they got like a relentless again like sort of like Hanabie where it's like do 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 do, it has slowed down a little bit, but I think it's slowed down for obvious
But I
reasons.
mean, Mayu became a parent as well, and I think she just continued with Nemophila like
But
it was
I
no
wonder if
business as usual.
my understanding is that Miyako is like central to writing the songs
Yeah,
and
Yeah,
everything
she's
driving it.
like the
So I
primary
suspect
songwriter
that
now.
her needing to take time off might have more of a slowing effect on releases, whereas obviously Mayu taking time off is going to be more of an effect on live shows.
yeah,
Also,
true.
they just hammered through that. But yeah, I think the areas their effect might be slightly different.
I think Mayu was even pregnant on stage, if I remember correctly.
Miyako was as
Why
well.
would that
Yeah,
not
for
surprise me?
ages. Yeah.
But I would love to hear more from them, but they're one of those bands where they kind of have a very. I feel like each album they do is kind of like refreshing their sound rather than necessarily going in like wildly different directions. So for me, it's like they're one of those bands where I'm kind of like just happy to hear what they come out with when they come out with it. Whereas when you talk about bands like Hanabie, as we were earlier, it's like one of the central things about them is their constant love of innovation. So the excitement for a new album is slightly different because it's more a case of I just want to hear what crazy stuff's been going through your head this week.
Yeah,
So
kind of.
that's kind of with Hanabie, I get more of a like a I really want to know what it is you're thinking of. Whereas with Love Bites, every time they cut over an album, it's more just a celebration of, hey, we made some new songs for you. So I think
Love bites for me is like
right.
the itch on your back that you just can't quite get. Like you can listen to other bands, but that itch just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse until a Love Bites
I think
album drops. I'm like, ah!
I think you need some cream or a doctor, my friend.
I know.
Just
So
needs
it's an
scratching his
itch
back.
only Love Bites can scratch.
But
Which
so
brings
Howard,
us.
let me ask you,
Yeah.
what would Love Bites have to do to like excite you more?
Well, this is where I need to be careful about definition because obviously, to be exciting, I mean, their core sound is exciting, of course, but again, they're one of those bands who I consider their whole shtick is more about perfecting a sound than it is about innovation. I don't think they're trying to
Yeah.
reinvent the sound. I think they're keeping a sound for. So I don't know if I think what you're talking about is exciting, as in like innovation, like surprise me. I don't really think that's what I'm looking for from Love Bites. But for example, when they came out with the EP Part Two, like I was just listening to the drumming and Haruna's drumming. It didn't like fundamentally change anything, but just the way that she improved or just being a little bit more, well, a bit different with her drum styles, and you could hear this different solid drum playing that we'd not heard from her before. And for me, that was just like, yeah, it's cool. It's like you're still doing that thing you do, but you've kind of refreshed it. You've added a little bit of something new, and there were just these little
Yeah.
differences. So again, a lot of the bands I love, I go to for innovation because that's I love songwriting. But there's certain bands they make it pretty clear what their deal is, and their deal is, look, we kind of do like this classic style of metal for 2025, and that's basically what Love Bites' deal is. So I have different expectations, no lesser expectations, just different expectations. So yeah, that's you go to bands for different things. So with Love Bites, I think they're exciting by continuing to perfect this thing that, as Neon pointed out, other bands do something similar, but very few do it in the same way they
Yeah.
do. So they scratch a certain itch that both me and Neon need cream for.
Exactly. I mean, going back to that
Okay.
point, I think you're kind of right. I think with the way Miyako and stuff is, it kind of reminds me of like, if you've ever been to like, in a studio with somebody, and there's like two types of people when you're in a studio. You get that person who just like goes by feeling, kind of just I don't want to say like just weighs his way through a song, but you get certain parts, you're like, oh, that's good, or let's enhance this bit, or show me what you can do. There's those type of people. Miyako is very much the Harvard upper class, like
Everything planned out.
has to do everything like with absolute perfection, and she just improves on that perfection. She's very by the books, but it has a different sound to it. It has a different vibe of metal to it, which I quite enjoy. It has a very like sort of, it's kind of like a classical trained musician in metal.
Yeah.
I
I
think
mean,
it's
that's
very
what she is.
distinct to
Yeah,
listen to
exactly.
that rather
Yeah.
than other metal bands, which is why I love Bite so much.
I do think that every artist, every musician has something. I mean, unless you're a session musician, and even then, but I mean, if you are an artist in a band, then you've always got to be somewhere like mixing those two things together. The part of which there's got to be a certain degree of feel. You can't just be mechanical, but then there's also got to be a certain degree of like, you've got to be thinking technically about what you do. I mean, as I say, one of my biggest complaints is bassists who come out and just play the root chord for every single note. And it's like, how can you feel happy going off stage knowing that's all you contributed to the song? So the guitarist was already doing it. Just give them another string. So I mean, I think there's got to be like a bit of a technical, but there's also got to be a bit where you're just kind of feeling it. And yeah, I think they got that balance in there. But one thing, I'm going to quickly bring this up because I can see we're getting a bit close to the end of our free version of Zoom.
No, we're not worried, even though I paid for it.
Yeah, even though we paid for it.
Yes, right. You did pay for it. It's still not working.
Yeah, you've got to find out what's going on with that. But I will quickly bring up, because obviously the elephant circling the room, we already did a video about this, which is why we're not going to jump in for a huge amount of time. But of course, as we spoke about before, Scoop by Band-Maid is...
You said you weren't going to bring it up.
I said I'd bring it up right at the end.
I wanted to see the comments, the angry comments.
Said in the last seconds.
Yeah, I'd originally said that I was going to go, keep your ears to the is Scoop coming out east, but no, let's just quickly bring this up because, of course, as mentioned, this is coming out. Well, it's coming out at the end of October. So, of all of the albums we're talking about, it's probably the one which is most pressing to actually speak about right now, because it's coming out in well just over a month. But I think of all of the albums, there's like a lot of reasons why we're excited for different things. We're talking about Unlucky Morpheus because they've been away for so long. With both TRiDENT and Neki, it's this sudden elevation up to this signed thing. What will that mean for their sound, if anything? We're talking about obviously with Hanabie, it's just their constant love of innovation. With Love Bites, again, them being away for a while and coming back. So when it comes to Band-Maid, it's kind of curious because of all of them, it's the one where I feel like there isn't like any big statement or anything they have to say. It just feels like they have just been creating and they've been making more because they seem to be so prolific. So I'm kind of intrigued by that. Just the fact that they are so prolific, that they are just constantly releasing material so fast.
You have to keep it going. But I was also thinking about it, like how long can you keep going like that? Because like at a certain point, then you have like 15, 20 albums, like
Yeah,
it's
it
gonna
can become a little bit
become
baffling.
difficult like to distinguish between the stuff. I mean, I still feel Band-Maid with every new release, they bring like a kind of a new flavor to their core sound. But I would still say it still is Band-Maid. It still is a pretty, how should you describe that? It's kind of like you eating your favorite food, you know? You know exactly what it is, but you still love it. And that's kind of all I expect from Spoop, maybe with
So
a
it's
little
like
sprinkle of a new spice on top.
so I'm gonna turn that question that you asked me earlier and just ask you, what would Band-Maid have to do for you to be like re-excited by it?
Well, I would assume probably leave the rock territory a bit more, but I guess they will not do that because that's
We want
kind
a few
of
more,
the core
a
of
few more
Band-Maid,
start
you know?
overs, a few more about us's, a few more memorables, a few more of them. Yeah, no, I'm with that. I think they've proved everything you can within the rock genre. So I'm kind of excited to see. As we mentioned, the three singles that have already come out have all definitely been very much part of the reason why
Well, I'm
we all
wondering, do
love
you think you have to
hard rock.
change it up, or do you think it's fine just delivering the favorite food to everyone?
No, I agree that, but I also
I
think this
think
is
if
a
you
band
eat your
who
favorite
are
food too
have proven
much,
they
you
can
can
do so
sort of
much
go
that
off
we're kind
it.
of excited to see all those things shown as they go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I,
Neon, that's exactly what I'm
Yeah,
wondering about.
I've known a lot of people. And again, this is probably a topic for another bit because we don't have the time right now. But I know a lot of people that are for Bandmade that have just sort of gone off the boil a little bit with them because it just the sound is a little bit too similar. I personally, controversial take here, but I personally wouldn't mind a 2 year break from Bandmade and then have them come back with something a little bit different in a while. But again, that's a topic for another day.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for this one as well. I'm excited for everything Bandmaid's dropped. Would I say I'm like massively hyped for this one on the scale of from some of their earlier stuff? Probably not. But yeah, I'm in that territory where I'm
It's not
like,
like you suddenly dislike it, it's just you're less excited for
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's like yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean I don't
The
love it
hype
any
value is
any
never going to be
less.
as high.
Yeah, it's just
I'm
the
still
hype is not
enjoying
as high.
narratives, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah,
I'm still
exactly.
enjoying.
It feels like we
Yeah.
only got that. Like that. It feels too soon to me. I'm like, I'm still enjoying the last album. So
Well, I've got to be honest. I'm excited because there's going to be more. But I agree with Benedict that I think I will be most happy afterwards if I listen to it and it's got all these little innovations where I go, that's something I've never heard from you before because
Yeah.
they're a band capable of innovation, and I'm looking forward to
But
hearing
if
that. And
not,
we're
you will
also
still
looking forward
like
to
it.
seeing your comments below this video. Remember to like, subscribe, give us feedback because we'll be doing more of these, and also keep your ears to the east.
Neon, you